Hi, Krishna. Heartiest welcome to all the devotees in this fifth online Alumni Sanga at Mayapur Academy. We are very happy to have you here. So let's start directly into the session. We have with us our Grace Ananda Lila Devi Dasi, who is a faculty at Mayapur Academy. She has been practicing Krishna consciousness for 3 decades now. She's a faculty for Deity worship. She teaches Deity dressing, festivals unit, temple worship unit, cooking. She also travels and conducts these courses in various temples. She has also developed unit for jewelry making at Mayapur Academy, and also has developed a very wonderful unit on teaching deity worship to kids. So we have a special course during Gaur Purnima time, specifically for kids, which she had developed. She herself is a graduate from Delhi University. She holds degree of Bhakti Shastri. She is pursuing Bhakti Vaibhav. She also teaches units of Bhakti Shastri. She is also a creative director at Mayapur Divine Threads, where she designs and conceptualizes dresses for Shri Shri Radha Madhav, Panchtattva, Narsimha Dev, and countless temples throughout the world. She herself has very beautiful deities at home. She dresses Mayapur Chandrodaya regularly, Semantni, Gaurang Mahaprabhu, Jagannath Baldev Subhadra at Rajapur. So we are very, very happy and honored to have her presence here. So let's welcome her. And today's session is also the topic is also very, very interesting. She will take us on a journey on how to conceptualize a dress up to, getting everything in perfect harmony when the darshans open. Those who would like to switch on their cameras, at least for some time, would be very happy to see your faces and to meet you. And if you have any questions throughout the session, you can type in the chat section. In the last, we'll have a question answer session for the same. So let's welcome Her Grace Ananda Lila. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Pravanjan, for the kind introduction. And now welcome all of you to the 5th Alumni Sanga. So we'll begin with prayers, invocation prayers, and then session for today. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. So, I'll begin with sharing a slideshow. So, as the topic of today's Alumni Sangha is titled as From Concept to the Darshan. When the curtains open, that's what we call it as having a darshan of the Lord. And when the darshan opens, that's what we see as is the grand finale. And before the grand finale, there's a lot of precepts from the concept, from the inspiration to the final visualization that many of us see in our ISKCON temples. And often we have heard and seen and experienced that even many pilgrims or outside visitors who come and have darshan of the deities at ISKCON, it's like the highlight of visiting an ISKCON temple is the deities are dressed very gorgeously and their outfits are very opulent. I remember an incident that Janani was often shared with us in the past. When they initially were living here in Mayapur serving, there were not that many visitors coming to the Mayapur temple. And if some of you have visited Mayapur, like there are other some Gaudiya Math temples across, like the Chaitanya Math and all other temples. And Janani Prabhu mentioned that during those times, the worship was very simple. But he made a point, they made a standard like they have to offer fresh flower garlands to the deities. Whereas the other temples, local temples here, they wouldn't have fresh garlands. They would have some plastic or, some sort of artificial flowers. And ISKCON was like, how you say, famous for that, they'll have dress and they'll have fresh flowers. So consistently, usage of the fresh flowers brought them to brought the standards up for the other temples also. Then they also started to offer fresh flowers to the deities. And this we have seen across all the mukutwalas or the people who make the outfits in Vrindavan. If not for ISKCON, not sure what they will be doing at this point of time. Because be it home or temple, we see that as devotees, we dress the Lord gorgeously, opulently, and we do take that very seriously also. And now when we speak about deity worship, two things that come to our mind. The first is the ritual itself, where we often recollect somebody doing arati or worship or boga, those all different sort of offerings. And the next that we see is the darshan of the Lord, dressing. And this beautiful visual expression of devotion of the devotees is what attracts us when we see the divine forms of the Lordships. And all this is coming from where? This all is, our baseline, our lifeline, from where everything rests upon and is gone, is Srila Prabhupada. And he gave very practical, simple, and easy to go formula, you can say, what we should be doing in our ISKCON temples. The whole idea of him establishing 108 temples during his lifetime itself was a testimony of that he really wanted his followers to take up this process of deity worship and connect the deities through various forms of service. And Prabhupada he instructed how a temple works. What are the main important aspects that when we begin with what are the different aspects that come in temple worship? And then he mentioned different aspects, and of them is where he this is one letter to Mukunda where he wrote, temple organization means decorating the deities very nicely with flowers, lights, dress, decoration, offering nice foodstuff in good silver plates, 5 times arati with kirtana and lecturing. Letter to Mukunda, San Francisco, 14 September 1968. So here we can see all the different aspects of deity worship. They are put together, and this he gave like a, you can, a simple formula for temple organization. And often we have heard and seen that, you know, when outside people they come in and visit ISKCON temples, they often mention that, oh, it's so clean, and they dress very nicely. So that's what his whole point was, that the deities are the center of attraction, the whole temple, and the whole worship revolves around the lordships. And he himself actually taught, instructed, and showed, demonstrated to his early disciples how to dress the deities, how to cook for the deities, how to do decoration, how to cook, how to perform arati, how to perform kirtan, and you know, how to and also made them well versed in the shastra. And he also emphasized equally the importance of quality dressing. The deities should always be well dressed in clothing and some ornaments and flowers and incense. The deities should always be attractive. And the more we are engaged in decorating the deities, washing the room, the more we are engaged in deity worship, the more we become purified. That is practical. Actually, there's also one definition of deity worship where Prabhupada, in one reference, he mentions that deity worship means to always, focus on the lotus feet of Krishna. Very simple. And how we can focus our mind on the lotus feet of Krishna? By these engaging ourselves in all these activities and all these services, and that helps us remember of the Lord. As here in this particular reference, Prabhupada is saying the deity should always be attractive, and he mentions that the more we are engaged in decorating the deities, the more we are becoming purified, because eventually, to enjoy ourselves, the enjoying propensity eventually evades. The more and more one is engaged in the service of the Lord. Because as we understand, we just can't negate anything. But yes, if we can replace that with some other thing, then eventually that replacement has taken such a big slot, then the earlier aspect is gone. And that's how Prabhupada put all his followers, all his disciples, and even to this day, keeping it very practical and not keeping it too complicated, so that even a person from any kind of background is able to connect oneself with the lordships. And when we talk about the concept of a dress, how the whole thing came about. Like here, Prabhupada is mentioning the deities should always be attractive. How can we make um, the deities so attractive? Oftentimes, we see devotees, they want to put they want to use so many things in the service of the Lord, and forgetting that it's not just about the external beauty that we wanted to create, but also it, unless it has done an internal transformation of ours in our devotional life, then it just remains external. Because dressing of the Lord is not about fashion, rather it's about devotion. So when we understand that aspect, that's there in the outside world. It's similar to like outside restaurants, they cook variety of dishes, but to enjoy, it's like a sense enjoyment for themselves. But whereas the same things when we as devotees do, it's for the pleasure of the Lord. And the same is when we are making an outfit, um, and then offering that to the Lord. So at each and every step, it's a prayerful mood, and those are the aspects that bring about the transformation in our inner self. Because since we have gone through, like here in this reference, Prabhupada is saying the more we are engaged in deity worship, the more we become purified. Because at each and every step, when we have been purified, and the personal moment, when we offer it and behold the Lord's opulent form, the purification has gone through many steps, and that's when we can visualize that how much we have been purified in this journey, in this process, and how it has brought us closer to the Lord. Because service also brings about realization. And dressing is basically, we can understand that as a seva. It's a service. And I have also heard this from Shanani was know that worshipping Krishna is everyone's birthright. I have never heard anything like that before. What I heard from him years ago. So that was an eye opener in my devotional life. That yes, worshipping Krishna is everyone's birthright. And so again, like whatever process we get involved in this um, dressing seva, it's a part of archana, it's a part of worship. And in Bhagavatam, also Lord Krishna is telling to Uddhava in 11th canto, 27th chapter, that in worshiping the temple deity, my dear Uddhava, bathing and decoration are the most pleasing offerings. So these all different aspects are not about trying to satisfy our whims and fantasies, and on the name of like, because we wanted to create something, and then it could be termed as fashion. No, it's actually all about devotion. And because Lord is a supreme enjoyer, as we all understand, and we want to offer him the best what we can. And as you can see, like each one of us, when we prepare with the same ingredients, even the same recipe, it tastes very different at the end with the same ingredients, even if we use. So it's the same understanding also when we start to conceptualize, or when we are beginning to enter into this arena of offering the outfits to the Lord. And another scriptural backing that comes is these. This is one of the 64 arts, as we all know. There are 64 arts which actually Krishna and Balaram, they learned at at Sandipani Muni's ashram. And of them, there are few which are related to Deity and dressmaking and dressing. I haven't numbered it. I forgot, but these are not in the sequence in the 64 arts. One is number 6 and another one is 58 or something like that. And this is from the purport of Brahma Samhita 537, where in the purport Prabhupada is mentioning about the 64 arts that he's just listing those 64 arts of devotional arts that Krishna Balaram learned, and they being the supreme personality of Godhead, they of course learned it in 64 days. But for us, it's altogether different ball game. So the first is sewing and weaving, which is termed as Suchivaya Karma, Tatpu Karma, where whatever encompasses into the sewing and weaving part, making outfits and using different techniques with the needle, basically, any kind of weaving or needlework, so as to say whatever embroidery we do or any lace or trims that we use, because at the end of the day, even the laces or trims, how are they made? They are being either weaved or they're embroidered and then cut and then put it together. And the next is this Vishesha Chedya, which actually means cosmetics and painting. It's like some special powders or tilaka decorations that are used as the face painting or the dots that's there. Then turban and apparel, that's Shikhara Pida Yojanam, where how to decorate the the crown of the Lord. And in this comes your crown and also the turban, like we see in the traditional temple Radha Govindaji in Jaipur. They put on often they put on the turban. They use both. They put on the turban in the winter season to keep the Lord warm. So we have seen those things, and these are all coming from those traditional temples. Of course, we may have some contemporary style of offering that. Never matter, the idea or the concept remains the same. Turban or the crown. The crown is also has a lot of embellishments for the head. And jewelry or ornaments, that's the Bhushana Yojana, like jewelry. We offer jewelry. And like in Mayapur Academy, we have a separate course for jewelry making where we teach them how to make jewelry. Specifically, we aim at teaching jewelry from beads, where we use needle and thread, and with different bead size, we it's called like beading technique, or in the modern language, what do you call? And put it all together. The whole idea of using a beaded jewelry is it's also a personal aspect. Why we want to do, because with each step and each stitch we could meditate on the Lord, and the beaded jewelry is much safer in sense when we are using it in the DD form of the Lord. It hurts less. It creates much less scratches. Whereas, of course, we can offer other ornaments made of stones also. But the care has to be taken that they don't scratch the deities. So these are the different personal aspects that we need to keep in mind when we are um, wanting to offer such sort of things in the service of the Lord. So these are all the scriptural basis on that we offer these different aspects in the service of the Lord. Of course, in 64 hours, there are a lot of different things. But since the topic is relating to concept of dress, so I just chose those only those aspects. Now, when we talk about conceptualizing of an outfit, it's kind of difficult to put in one phrase. Inspiration behind an outfit could be anything. It's basically a meditative process, and the concept is basically it's the heart of dressing seva. It's where our meditation begins, and the inspiration sources could be anything. It could be any object, any flower, any season, any scriptural reference, pastime, and there is this book by Yamuna Devi, where she mentions about how she learned this different dressing and dressmaking techniques when she visited different temples while she was serving Srila Prabhupada. There she writes her personal deities, Ban Bihari. To them also, she actually offered many outfits according to the theme. Could be seasonal, like if it's your this one is actually the crux or the baseline of wanting to offer something unique, something special, because it's there is a vast availability of the resources in terms of what could be our inspiration, and depending upon each person's liking and inclination, the inspiration would be different, and that's how our offering could be unique. It could be the same color pink, but all of us could come up with different concepts or different inspirations or different concepts behind that. And so basically a concept is born from meditation, and it can be inspired by seasons. So if it's a summer season, we wanted to choose like those spring colors. If it's a summertime, we would want to use lighter shades, whereas in the winters we would want to use rich, deeper, colors. And then come the festivals. If the festival is like something like Guru Purnima, or often in India they call it as Holi, where it's like it's the onset of sort of spring. It's festive, so then probably we would want to use quite a bit of few more colors, because festival is means colorful, and then each one calls for a distinct mood basically. And Janmashtami is like our one of the main festival of the year, one of the most important. Whether a temple is small or big or medium, whatever size one temple is in, Janmashtami they do celebrate. So the whole idea is, so that becomes more festive, so that outfit could be more heavier, and those kind of things. So the outfits can reflect those distinct moods. Another aspect is we could take it as on any pastime, and they could reflect specific pastime. So you can choose any like uh, like we did one outfit on the lotus where it was based on the verse of where Kunti Maharani is offering her prayers to Lord Krishna, where she is referring to each and every limb of the Lord in comparison to lotus. Namo Pankajanavaya, on that shloka from Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, where she is offering it in the glorification of the Lord. So, so then lotus could be your theme, or it could be anything. If you take any other verse, there's any other flower or any other color that you wanted to emphasize, or any other motive that we wanted to work upon on the respective Lord. And then eventually the colors, let's say like if you wanted to use any specific um, animals or birds in the outfit, so that would evoke a certain mood. Like if you wanted to have cow or any such sort of thing, having cows on, we have to be a little mindful. There's different aspect that we need to be careful about, is we don't do rasa basa, like adding peacocks in Nrsimhadev's outfit. It's kind of really not sinking to the mood, because once we remember, we made one large backdrop decoration behind Nrsimhadev where the peacock was the theme, and it had two peacocks. And there was a concern from Chanani Masro's side that it just doesn't match Nrsimhadev. Where was Peacock dancing in? I mean, of course, he's Krishna, supreme personality of God, but still, given the fact that he is being worshipped in that respective form, so better to have like some bolder motives, stronger colors for Nrsimhadev. And the same thing, like if we wanted to add cows, say suppose in an outfit, to me personally, it feels like when we put cows on the chadar, one very important thing the dresser has to make sure, or even when we are making the outfit, that often we in the our standard way of dressing, we we kind of the chadars are going like this, like wings. So it's kind of unusual how the cows will be flying chadar. So please be mindful of those aspects when we begin to design. So better to come up with something. So what would be the baseline? The basic aspect would be when we try to conceptualize or draw inspiration from any specific theme. Keep in mind what are my deities that they will be wearing, and what is the time frame, in sense what is that festival is all about, and the personality of Godhead that is being worshipped. So once those things are synced in, then yes, we can assume that we are on the right track, basically. And then of course the minor things that come into play is the colors, and rasa aspect that I said, that motifs, and not do rasa basa. So those are and with the scriptural leelas also, try not to go like too deep, because there might be some different aspects that may not necessarily be so conducive in our initial stages of Krishna consciousness. So try to look for something that is very much in the line of Gaudiya Vaishnavism. So basically, what mood do I want to express? If we ask those questions, and what does this festival or Leela represent? And correspondingly, the fabrics that we choose, the colors, the jewelry that support, they all should complement basically all these different aspects. What are they trying to do? We are trying to make the Lord, of course, Lord Krishna is beautiful. He, even without dressing, his form is beautiful. We are doing all these different aspects so that our minds can be purified in this whole process, and Krishna accepts our offering graciously, whatever little endeavor we have put in this whole um, um, process, basically. And the mood of making a dress, it's a very sacred as dressing itself, because as I mentioned in the beginning, when we see the deity's darshan, that's like the last step. Before that, the first seed you can see is the inspiration from where we begin, and then comes we make the patterns um, with respective appropriate measures, and and then we start putting our ideas, our thoughts into, which was just reeling in our mind, put that into paper, into two-dimensional form, and then we bring it into a three-dimensional form when we start making working on it. Because if the concept is coming from a pure and clean uh, idea, then when we are actually putting it into our uh, act, actively into a three-dimensional form, that is what is our whole meditation about, what we thought and how we are able to see the Lord's functioning behind it. Um, and each stitch can be a prayer, and in this way, each and every day, how much ever days or months or weeks it takes to for that final offering to be offered, we have been purified at each and every step, each and every moment, each and every day, each and every week, months or years, whatever it may be, for that thing to manifest and to be offered to the Lord. Because if at each step we are thinking about how it will suit, because it's all about conscious, being really conscious of what we are doing and how we are going to get it done. So from sketch comes, we choose the fabric, and then comes what kind of embroidery we are going to have, or what kind of work we are going to do, and then we do the final finishing, sewing, and then final finishing, and then offering it to the Lord, basically. Because I think, yeah, that code is coming later. True. And yeah, Prabhupada, he once told Himavati, when she was doing sewing, because that was his whole idea. He said, you can become self-realized just by sewing. We can understand from Srila Prabhupada that even a smaller part, even if you would have done it for a moment, for a few minutes, or for a few seconds, or a few days, that's what is connecting us to the Lord. And when the Lord is actually wearing that he's accepting to wear those what we have offered, that's when we connect with the Lord. Only service can connect us with the Lord. Hearing about him and doing service, that's what connects us with the Lord. And it's a very practical way for us to be connected. And this is quite a I will say revolutionary statement when I read, when I came across this quote of Srila Prabhupada, where he said that you can become self-realized just by sewing. So that's because it at each and every detail and a prayer, it's actually transformation that's happening in our inner self. And when we see the Lord wearing that, that's when we connect. Oh yeah, this is what I did for him, and yeah, and that creates a gratefulness in our heart, and that's when our heart becomes fertile to receive Krishna consciousness and to be Krishna conscious. And these are the different practical ways we can be Krishna conscious. How to be conscious of Krishna? By doing all these different things. And the next is the jewelry, how we make it. Like I was mentioning, we have the course at Mayapur Academy where we teach how to make jewelry with beads, with threads and needles and beads, because the whole idea is we meditate upon the Lord as we move along this whole process of offering these different aspects in his service. As we saw, it's also one of the 64 arts, devotional arts, that actually satisfies Krishna, makes him happy. And what about oneself who is not in this process, who is facilitating in this concept? Oftentimes we see pujaris, not all of them will be in this process of conceptualizing, making the outfit, and all they would be at the end, they'll get an outfit and they got to dress the deities. So in that sense, one can see oneself as facilitating the offering. And also, I mean, as a pujari, as a dresser, once you get the outfit, you didn't know what went through earlier, and what's all you have is this, and then you have gone that 1.5 hours or 2 hours to dress the Lord. And you can look at the outfit, how we are going to be dressing, and the first and foremost is what's the color that's there in the outfit, and what are the different motifs that are being used, and what that basically is symbolizing. And then we can choose the fabrics then thoughtfully for the sash or the turban, because that's then all about dressing. And if it's summer, we use lighter textures. If it's winter, then we can use a little heavier texture. Again, it will depend upon what sort of deities we have, and how we are going to be going through the whole process of dressing the deity in that respective time. And it requires a lot of planning from the beginning to the end. Each and every step, inspiration, we make the concept and draw the sketches, make the embroidery, get the patterns ready, sewing, and then finishing, and then offering it to the Lord. And also what kind of decor that we would want accordingly, a contrasting one, or just everything goes in the same as the outfit. it really depends upon the occasion of the festival. And a lot of cooperation needed in this step. It's not just a one-man show. There are a lot of different devotees, people involved in such process, and cooperation at each and every step is required, and also understanding of what is to be done in the service of the Lord. And as a pujari, what we can offer is offer with a prayerful mood. And oftentimes I see there is a misunderstanding between the person who's going to be dressing and the person who conceptualized. So taking care of those pitfalls and trying to understand and offering the best one can in the service of the Lord. So these are the different pitfalls that one could avoid for the one who is actually dressing. Like, see the appropriate proportions of the motive size, what's there, and accessories doesn't become a distraction, like not too much stuff. More is not beautiful. In the last Alumni Sanga, when Guru Chaitanya Prabhu was mentioning that space is very important for us to read. It's not just also about reading the turbans, but also to read what's happening, where's the outfit going, where are the flowers, and keeping the mood intact. And the attention should be, who is the attention? Attention is Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. His beautiful lotus face is the center of attraction. So our whole idea of what we are trying to do, from the concept to the dressing, at each and every step, the idea is to glorify the Lord. And having a very clean and tidy look. Anything that is unclean or untidy, that's going to really pull off the whole show. And in dressing, have everything secure. Because if the turban is loose or the dressing is loose, or if it's not pinned up properly, it's not secured with properly, it will fall off and it's going to look very badly. So tidy and neat. So all these different aspects, they make the final darshan of the Lord more pleasing, because it's not even just about making the outfit. At the end of the day, it's how we present it. It's a presentation, that how we are going to be dressing. So this is where the pujari's main role comes, even though if he or she was not involved in the previously process, may not be necessarily, may or may not be. The whole idea is the last step, the final presentation, because even when we cook like something nice, if it's presented nicely, like we see, like when we offer the Raj Bhoga or any Bhoga to the Lordships on a plate, how nicely it's been kept. So it's how we want to present it. So the same thing, how we want to dress, and then that's how it's presented when devotees or people come for darshan. And Prabhupada, one thing emphasized again and again at many different stances, in different ways, different ideas, that what is our mood of worship? What should be our mood of worship? And here Prabhupada says, regarding your question about why we dress the deities in very opulent fashion and not as simple cowherd boys and girls, this is an intelligent question, and the answer is that according to the regulative principles, we cannot worship Radha Krishna now. Radha Krishna worship is meant for persons who have already developed spontaneous love of God. In the training period, we are only worshipping Lakshmi Narayan. So the dresses have to be opulent. That's as recommended by Srila Prabhupada. We are not worshipping Radha Krishna as simply cowherd boys and girls. We are worshipping them in the mood of Lakshmi Narayan. It's awe and reverence and opulence. And Prabhupada also mentioned that we make outfit that it lasts for, quite a few years, like 25, 30 years, it should last for that long. So that's the whole point. We are putting so much energy and effort into that to please the Lord. And we are in the training period. That's why in a training period only we are getting purified. That's why all these different steps, they are purifying us at each and every step of the process from the beginning till the end. And here you can see the deities are dressed so gorgeously. Simple, but they had a lot of, the Krishna is wearing crown, Radharani is wearing crown. This one quote I came across from Back to God it just recently last month on Devotee posted long back. This was from long back from Tungavadra Devi Dasi, where in here Prabhupada is mentioning when they actually she made the outfits and Prabhupada was very happy. And then she asked Prabhupada that, we wanted to go and buy more cloth and more garments for them. And here in the last line where you can see Srila Prabhupada is smiling beautifully. And then he said, so always engage in this way. He told us, then your present life will be perfect and your next life will be perfect. You will go back home, back to goddess. And in the middle paragraph, Prabhupada mentioned that make thousands of outfits like this and always make Radharani more beautiful than Krishna, then Krishna will never leave. So that's our whole point. We wanted to worship the Supreme Personality and Godhead Shri Krishna. So what's the takeaway that Prabhupada is mentioning, that always make Radharani more beautiful, and in that way Krishna will never leave. And if Krishna will stay with us, we will be the happiest and the most fortunate souls in this planet. So, of course, there are different ways one can be Krishna conscious. And this is also one of the way as instructed by Prabhupada, encouraged by him. And as we see, so we as pujaris coming together, this is like our one of the main service, dressing the deities, worshipping them. So we try to always make Radharani more beautiful, and then Krishna will never leave. And this also the way that we can perfect our lives and be able to go back home, back to God. So I'm not sure if there are any questions or comments. There's anything in the chat box. I'm not sure. There are no questions then.
Thank you very much, Mataji, for such beautifully illustrating, first of all, giving us the Shastric basis for the various aspects of this service, mode of Srila Prabhupada, difference between this service and a normal fashion designing, like a cooking for the Lord and cooking for sense gratification. Then taking us towards the conceptualization of dress, how to meditation that it takes, picking a verse, choosing an element, color, motif that we want to emphasize, being careful about rasabhas, careful about the context, which festival it is, the mood, the different pitfalls to avoid. There are so many things are there. By swing, one can become self-realized. So, dear devotees, we welcome any comments and questions that you might have, and you can unmute yourself and ask. or you can type in the chat section. And meanwhile, if you can also mention any one point that was very helpful for you that you would be taking away from this session, you can type in the chat section, and it would be a wonderful reflection for all the participants. So, what are you carrying away from this session? What was the most helpful thing? Anything that resonated with you? Please type in the chat section. And meanwhile, any questions, comments, reflections, please, you're most welcome. There are some comments, Patri.
So yeah, there's this question I see, the durability of the deity's outfits. Okay, the first and foremost, care is very important. Always keep them covered. You can prepare covering for them with a cloth or something. Preferably something that is cotton, breathable. Or even like you can have those coat hangers kind of thing. That material also works. That keeps us like in Mayapur, the weather is quite humid, and it spoils the outfit with different metal you know um, mm, elements. If we put it on the outfit, it tarnishes very quickly. So please be mindful of which area location you are in. Then if needed, I know some temples, they don't use some specific items in their outfits because that tarnishes because of their weather conditioning. So then accordingly, you may have to design or offer those kind of outfits, and keep them after offering, keep them secure and covered. That will ensure that it goes on, that comes for a longer time. Yeah. And then you can even brush them off with softer maybe brush or softer cotton fabric cloth. And this other you can find a list of courses available in our website, mayapuracademy.org. There, if you go on the courses info, and then there you will see the upcoming courses. There you can see what are the different courses that we are offering. And also you can follow our Instagram and Facebook media pages for more info that keeps you updated for our upcoming courses as well. And if you're an alumni, then most of the alumni, we have a WhatsApp group, and the upcoming courses are posted over there as well.
Could I ask one question, Mataji?
Yes, bro.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
So, sometime when we're dressing a lot, the fabric itself, which fabric should be used? Because when we're dressing the Lord, some fabrics are by nature very sticky. And we know this is not comfortable for the Lord to wear those things. So how care and what fabric should be used in terms of like which is more comfortable, pleasing and satisfying for the Lord as well?
Of course, when it comes to needy clothing, silk is the best. Even if you read any of the scriptural reference, what it defines, that Krishna is dressed in silken robes, his dhoti is like thunderbolt, pitambar, or all those different references. What are they mentioning? It's actually silk, and silk has more durability. Of course, I see many temples, because of budgeting issues or concerns, they go for a lower side. So yes, synthetics will have its own challenges to deal with. Of course, it's cheaper. See, anything, if we want something quality, we have to pay price for it. So that's like a given formula in even in material world also. So yeah, we have to pay the price for it, because what happens with silk is, whatever the weather condition is, first is durability is more, and also it's very flowy, it's very softer. If you actually ever hold any original silk fabric, the synthetic won't fall straight, or it won't fall in a respective fashion, because the silk of those fibers, they are natural. They just take the hand movements very naturally, and then it can glide through on whichever direction we want it to, and the pins also go through easily. And yeah, like it's all the pros, I would say. But yes, but if budgeting is the concern, then I can't say anything.
Could you throw some light on we have a night dress and the day dress. Day dress is like more fleshy, more heavy. Night dress is like more light. So
yeah, basically night outfit means, I mean, when we go to bed, we wouldn't want to be dressed very heavy. That's what is the personal aspect comes in. That's, like Prabhupada mentioned, at least 2 times the outfit has to be changed. Like there are 2 times dressing happening. Why the night dressing doesn't have many aspects? Why they don't have too many jewelries? Because the whole idea is the Lord is going to go and take rest. And so yeah, so keep it simpler. At the same time, the elegance has to be there, and that will only actually is brought very effortlessly in silk. So that's like a practical thing. And also silk has got a sheen to it. It's a natural fiber, whereas others, those who are then artificial or synthetic, will have their own challenges to deal with.
So there are a couple of questions, Mataji,
Okay. Yeah.
chat section. Would you like?
Okay, what's that? The durability of DD's attire and the temple storage capacity. What is the recommendation for removing older damaged garments? Is there a stipulated time? Like minimum, I mean, if we have put effort in the embroidery outfit, it will last for 20 plus years for sure. Basically, you can see that's the challenge many of the temples are facing now. So maybe you can reduce the number of outfits, or if not, you can give to some other temples who are not doing so well financially to help them support. Or many temples have they have got dioramas, or you can donate to Mayapur Academy for our models, where we have Radha Krishna models, and we use many of the Maha outfits from different temples, because here the models are not exactly like deities, they are models, and then we can use the Maha outfits in that sense, and the devotees can, and that could be well used for retiring the outfits from the temple. Okay. Inner skirt that will make the dress flow and at the same time light, so that it doesn't add weight to the dress. Yeah, so what about that? Inner skirt can be 2 kinds depending upon your size of the deities. If your deities are smaller, say 1 feet, 1 to 1.5 feet, then have a frilled cotton or a silk skirt underneath, like an inskirt, like how the ladies wear a petticoat, like that. But if the deities are larger than that, you can have a simple foam skirt. Depending upon, again, it depends upon how much space do you have in the altar. Because if you put a foam skirt underneath, that takes quite a bit of a space. But yes, the skirt will stand straight; it won't fall off. And it's like very helpful for the deities which are bigger in size. Because what happens is when we use these heavy embroidery skirts, that puts a lot of weight or effort on the deities. So when we have those in skirts, which are layered, which are the layered one, ruffles one, so that kind of supports the heavy embroidery and it puts less effort on the deities. So there are two kinds you can make, either with sponge or with not, depending upon the size and the area that you have got in your object. Okay, ahimsa silk, whereas non-ahimsa silk is thicker and not the softer kind. Could you comment? Not necessarily. Again, it of course use the best quality for the lordships, what you can offer, what your yatra, what your temple can offer. Of course, ahimsa silk would be the best. There are different kinds of ahimsa silk also. Not sure what you are referring to. I know, like, it depends on different regions of India where silk are manufactured. Like in Bengal, the silk is very thin, but you go down south, it's a little thicker. And other different parts of India have got different other kinds of silks. So yeah, you can choose the best quality that's available. How can we have the inner skirt that will be light and at the same time give flow to the dress? Yeah, so as I mentioned, you will have to see what's the size of your deities, and then accordingly, it would be there. Like if it's so basic, I'm just letting you know that if the deity size is 1 to 1.5, then 3 layer of the ruffle should be enough. Whereas if it's like taller, say like Radha Madhava, who are like 5 to 6 feet, then you would need like 8, 9 layers of that. So yeah, inserts can be made of sponge or without sponge, either way, whatever works according to the size of the device. Because not everybody likes it to be too fluffy, they want it to be a little flatter. So, but sponge skirts are really helpful for 3, 4 regular sized discontemporaries, 3 to 4 feet. Yeah. Right. I think no more questions, and we are also above the time.
Hare Krishna Mataji, I just have one quick question. I'm the one who asked about the inner skirt. So when you say the foam skirt, what does it mean? What kind of foam are you talking about?
It's the thinner form, the thinnest one. I don't know how to explain that. We have the foam, then we have the fabric. The foam is inside the fabric, and then we make strips. And then you make a regular bell-shaped skirt, and then put the layering, and then the pleating has to be like little bit, not too close, little bit like 1 inch, depending on the size of the deities, half to 1 inch apart, so that it gives kind of a ruffle thing, but then not too much of the pleating. So it helps help the outfit stand straight.
Okay, so when you say foam, like it is not complete foam skirt, but you cut the foam strips and then you add it like at the bottom and maybe in the after 3-4 inches and 3-4 inches like that in layers.
Yeah, say suppose if this is very thick. I will show you. If this is the foam which is, say, suppose very thin, and then you have a fabric that will be covered by this foam, and then there will be extra like this is a seam line, and then you have another few centimeters where you will make the stitch. So the foam is inside the fabric, basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Got it. Thank you.
Thank you all very much. And I hope this session was helpful for those in these line of dressing. And we look forward to seeing you all in our next Alumni Sangha. We'll notify you through your respective WhatsApp groups and email. So thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, Mataji, and let us all thank Mataji, maybe by chanting Hare Krishna Maha Mantra at your own individual places for taking out the time. And we thank all of you for engaging with this session. The session will be up on YouTube in 1 or 2 days. And if you have still further questions, please reach out at Mayapur Academy. If you're traveling to Mayapur Academy, if you're traveling to Mayapur, we would love to see you again at Mayapur Academy. Please do come and meet teachers. And we're starting with International Diploma in just few days now. On 10th of October, it is starting. And there are more than 11 courses that will be happening till Nityanand Triyodashi. Those are all on-site courses. We welcome you in those courses as well. So thank you and see you in